It's TMNT time! Hello and welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the Neca Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles X Universal Monsters. It's Splinter as Van Helsing. And I just gotta say one thing. I think this combination is cool as hell. Because you have the serious old rat and you dress him up as Van Helsing with the entire arsenal. And even if you want to make some lore around this, you could say, well, all the other turtles have turned into monsters, and it's now up to their quote-unquote dad, master, whatever, sensei, to take them out, or, you know, if you want to be cute about it, just to restore them, or heal them, or whatever. I don't think there's any lore behind it, but I just made that up in my head. But I still think this is a very cool idea, this is a very cool combination, and of course, as is the style of Neca, if you don't want to take it out of the box, you can just open it, you have the window box over here, and you can look at it like this, but I want to take it out, so let's go. So obviously it should be noted that this figure does not stand very well because of the rat feet, and you want to have them angled like that, that would be correct. You can have them flat, but that just kind of looks weird. So that's why they have the little base over there, which I will be using for the rest of the review to have him stand up straight. He stands at 16 centimeters to the top of the hat, which means we are going up to 6.2, 2.5 inches tall. Size comparisons. Here's Jolter, the SH Figure Arts Son Goku, Neca Michelangelo, TMNT Adventure Slash, Raph as Frankenstein's monster, Leonardo as the Hunchback, Michelangelo as the Mummy, Super 7 Donatello, and Darkseid. Overall, look in detail, I mean, he's super lanky, especially in the arms. That might be due to these joints, but I don't know if that was the idea. He's a rat after all, so he would have a lot longer limbs in general. So I'm not gonna hark on to that too much. We got the face sculpt, which definitely is modeled after the movie Splinter. They definitely reused some parts of that, which I'm not mad about. I mean, it's a cool idea to go that direction. The entire lineup of the Universal Monsters looks a lot more realistic, so you want to go with a lot more realistic Splinter. Now, as I was saying before, I love the glasses. It looks funny, the glasses on the rat. The paint job on here is amazing. You have like a lot of dry brushing, which makes the fur look really good, especially in the lower half over here. You got like a lot of lighter parts. I think they just molded in like the darker brown, and then you put out the lighter parts in there. Then you have the hat, which is soft plastic, has a little bit of detail, has a hidden weapon in the back, and the one ear peeking through on this side, because movie Splinter only has the one ear. The other one got cut off by Oroku Saki. I don't know if there's any lore of that guy, but maybe we'll get like an Oroku Saki for the monster lineup. Who knows? Then you have the collar of the jacket, once again painted in the same beautiful manner than the lower half of his face is. There's also obviously a lot of texturing in the skin, but also his scarf and the entire jacket, which has a nice leathery look to it. Same for the belt, has a little bit of gold in there with the buttons over here, and a holster for his weaponry, which is sloppily painted though. I feel like they molded in like this brown and then painted over it, as you can tell on the lines over here. It's not fully covered up, unfortunately, although the more I look at it, there seems to be more of it, so maybe that was intentional. I think, yeah, now that I look at it, I think the light brown part is actually painted on it, but it looks kind of weird. It looks like doo-doo. I'm just saying, also has a hole in the back to hold on to it. I didn't even notice that beforehand. But yeah, that helps it stay in place. If you don't want it, you can actually take it off. I like the option. Back to the entire coat, as I was saying, leather on there. And then you even got the gloves with some more dry brushing on it. It looks kind of dirty, kind of used up and old. And that's the idea of it. And the lower half of it is like more like the original Splinter look. You have like the entire robe with some more molded detail on it and the dry brushing. The belt seems very clean though. I don't know if they kind of forgot to dry brush that one. Down to his legs have more of the beautiful effect on the fur and the dirty bandages and the big rat tail that's coming out, which is on a wire, so it does have some posability, and it definitely helps with stability. You don't have to absolutely use the base, but I think it definitely helps. But yeah, the tail does balance him out quite a bit. Now for the articulation, starting off with the head, it's fairly limited because they didn't leave that much room. It does swivel around and you do have some back and forth motion. You can really shift. I think it's like another dumbbell joint, so you shift it to the back, so you get some backward movement. It looks kind of awkward though because you do have the gap in there, but try to shift it forward, try to shift it backward. Yeah, that's like the dumbbell. Try to shift it forward. It doesn't really do that much, and now I can't reconnect it, but yeah, forward movement is kind of non-existent. Then you have the hinge in the shoulder, can move that up and down and also rotate it on here. Have the double hinged elbow as established. It has the big piece in there, which looks somewhat wonky. I love the part though that it's kind of molded like the rest of the jacket, so it does fade in decently enough. You have the hinge on the hand, can move that up and down and also swivel. Now for the entire torso area, you do have this lower half which has a little bit of rotation, backward, forward, does tilt side to side. The entire coat is soft plastic, so it gets somewhat out of the way, but obviously not that much. For the legs, also it's pantsu time. Well, he actually doesn't wear pantsu. But for the legs, let me try and move this up. As you can tell, the lower half of his outfit should move out, but since it's still thick plastic, it gets in the way somehow. Moves out to the side, not really that great. And also to the back, yeah, it's all the plastic that's kind of in the way, but you can rotate it also on the ball. Have the simple hinge in the knee. Let me line this up so you can actually see it. Simple hinge in the knee, so you can bring that all the way forward and to the back. And then we have another hinge, lower half on his foot. This one looks kind of ugly, but it goes back and forth. Also, by the way, you can rotate this in any direction you want, swivels around. But yeah, this hinge, just like simple, doesn't rotate, doesn't have any swivel in it. And also finally, the toe hinge. For your accessories, we do get a different head sculpt where he just doesn't wear the hat. Otherwise, it's the same head sculpt, but I mean, it's cool that you have the option and it looks pretty clean instead of like putting something on the hat where you could switch it out. You do get a crossbow. I guess like a little bit more modern version of usually he does have like a regular bow. We get a knife and a whole bunch of cool looking stakes, first and foremost, for vampires, obviously. I don't know, just turn into French, but yeah. You got those. 3 of them things. All of this also can be put on his belt, by the way. But I will combine that later as the base falls to the ground. You do have 3 simple arrows, which are somewhat rubbery, so they don't really break off that easily. So you can tell. You can move that around, and then you have this one, which has like the sharp, pointy thing at the front. Because like the other ones all look like this, by the way. Didn't really show you the front part that well. And this one just has some garlic on there. It looks pretty cool. I like the idea of it. Just straight to the heart with garlic. Then we got these holding hands for mostly the crossbow, and these kind of like pointy and half, I don't really know, trigger finger hand and whatnot. So there you go. Final thoughts, and this is not a great looking piece, and the idea of it to give Splinter Van Helsing is really cool, and comes with a bunch of really interesting accessories, all very well executed, and I don't really have any issues with the look, the paint, the design. Everything comes together very, very nicely. But as I'm always saying with this lineup, all these Universal TMNT monster figures so far have had one common issue: articulation. If you want super duper articulated figures, this is not the one for you. It's limited, it works, you can get some poses, but obviously also this design is really hindered by even standing up because of the feet. And that's not really their, you know, fault, but it is what it is. I guess that's why Neca just kind of threw the tiny base in there, so at least he won't take any shelf dive, but again, you're not gonna get him into dynamic poses anyway. And that doesn't really bother me, but again, if you're into hyper articulated, take a pass on this lineup, really. It's not for you. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Master Splinter as Van Helsing wants.